Hey everyone, it's Matt Manetric here, and we're back on the Battle Stadium ladder, and you may recognize this team. This is the team that, of course, won the San Diego Regionals, and it's super cool. It was so unique comparing it to the kind of the things that we were expecting going into it. Tauros was a massive surprise, but it ended up getting loads of usage. Excalibur appearing in this team as well as the Garganacle slipping under the radar. I don't think too many people were expecting the Mimikyu as well. Yeah, it's a super cool team, and I'm really looking forward to using it. Honestly, I don't want to keep you waiting for these games. I'm not going to explain the team too much. I'm just going to show you it in playing. But it was so well built for this specific tournament. It does so well into so many different matchups. But there is a team report that the creator, Jisuk, has made. I will leave the link in the description for you. Make sure you go and read it. Either before or after you watch this, then go give it a play. I don't have the EVs here. I'm not going to leave a link to a poker paste, but because all the EVs are in the team report, highly recommend you read it because it's so in depth. It gives you so many like damage calculations. For example, Golden will always live a knockoff from a Meowscarada. It will always live another Shadow Ball from another Golden and things like that. It's super cool. It even gives you a guide on how to beat Dondozo. So definitely check that out, guys. Let's jump straight into these games. Into game one then, guys. We've got Indeedee, Hatterene, Torkoal, Lilligant, Annihilate, and Donphan. So I have actually used Donphan in VGC this season. Donphan was originally on that Dunsparce team, and then I swapped out of King Gambit when I realised that King Gambit was a much better option because I was struggling against Ghost types. But yeah, so this would be pretty cool. Obviously heavily Trick Room, but you do have the Lillicol combination in there. Not something I've really seen since right at the beginning of the season. So, who exactly do we want to lead with? Probably Garganacle, as it has Wide Guard, so if they do end up wanting to lead with the Torkoal, then I can Wide Guard check myself from Eruption. Also, if the Lilligant wants to go for a Grass type move into Garganacle, then I can Terrestrialize into a Poison type to resist it. Who do I want to pair it with? I could pair it with... Mimikyu's not a bad option. I don't really like Tauros here. What about Excalibur? I mean, Excalibur hits insanely hard, right? Like, that's not an awful option. I guess I could just go Golden and go for a Specs, Make It Rain, because everything's so slow other than the Lilligant. If it is the Torkoal, then I'm going to want a switch out. That's probably best of being Tauros. We're running out of time here. I'm going to go back Excalibur, and I'm going to go Tauros, because I feel like it. Tauros may not have been the best choice here, but I'm starting to think Meowscarada might have been a better option. But I'm not sure if Meowscarada will be able to pick up like the crucial knockouts. Then obviously it has no bulk to go with it, so... Because obviously against the Trick Room team, everything's super bulky, and Meowscarada's attack is good. It's not amazing, though. It's actually going to be Annihilate with... Okay, so is this going to be like Final Gambit? This looks like it might be Final Gambit. So with that in mind, let's go Protect, and... I guess we'll go for a Make It Rain. Golden is fairly tanky, so if he chooses to Shadow Claw, I would expect to live it. But I certainly don't think this was the lead my opponent was expecting. But let's see, shall we? So it's going to be a U-turn, which is going to do absolutely nothing. But that does confirm the Scarf, because it's generally only Scarf Annihilate that would run U-turn. So we know that thing is running the Final Gambit. Hopefully this is Hatterene switching in. That would be delightful. That would genuinely be amazing. I can't see it, but it would be insane. But hopefully Golden can get a massive hit off here with Make It Rain. And then potentially on the next turn we can go for a Wide Guard and then a follow-up Make It Rain for a double down. But if Torkoal comes in, maybe we have to change things up. I suppose we still just click Wide Guard. And then it comes down to whether or not he's running Flamethrower on the Torkoal, which some do. So this actually is going to be the Hatterene, which is amazing for us. As we go for the Make It Rain, it's super effective into the Fairy type and one-shots it. Indeed, he takes a fairly large chunk of damage as well. And we're fully expecting the Trick Room here. Oh, we see a berry. That thing has some special defense investment, doesn't it? Wow. Oh, he just goes for Psychic. into the Garganical. So, no Trick Room, no damage on the field for my opponent, other than the U-turn damage, which was pathetic. So really, really good start for us. Really, really good start. So switching in is going to be that Annihilate. Now, like I said, we may expect a final Gambit here. I don't really want to switch out. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go for the Salt Cure. I could Terrestrialize into a Poison type, but with a Psych type on the field, I don't feel that comfortable doing that. And also, I might need my Terra later on. Like, if the Torkoal's in the back, I might need to Terrestrialize my back Scarlet into a Water type. I'm knocked into Make It Rain. That's fine. That is okay. We're going to see the final Gambit. Go into Garganical. I actually thought we'd live that. To be honest with you, I thought I'd live that. What HP does Annihilate have? I mean, this is now single target, right? So, we get a crit. I don't know how much the crit mattered. Because that was a single target Make It Rain. I'm really not sure. What's Annihilate max HP then? I think it must be a little bit higher. It wouldn't be much higher. I know it does hit the 200s, but... in this situation, I guess we'll bring in the Tauros. Annihilate's gone, so the chance of a Pokemon having Defiant is nil. So it's going to be the Torkoal coming in. And you've got to say we're in a very commanding position. I can't really see how we lose from this stage. I mean, it is still possible. You know, don't count your chickens before they hatch. Just trying to think now. Like, with Wave Crash, obviously super effective stab. Very powerful move. I can't actually see my moves properly because my microphone's in the way. But Wave Crash is base 120 power. With Stab, it's 180. Super effective. Well, I think I'd rather go for close combat. And I'm locked in to Make It Rain because I'm Specs. My opponent going to Terrestrialize here, obviously into the Fire type. But as long as we can stop the mega powerful eruptions, we should be fine. And Excalibur should be able to come in afterwards to wrap this game up. Maybe I would have been better off going for Wave Crash. I'm not sure what would have been more... I'm not sure what would have been better for me, like taking less damage or having the special defense drop. I'm honestly not sure. Tauros goes for the close combat though. That is some good damage. And Excalibur should be able to wrap this game up with a Glaive Rush. It is going to be the Eruption. That should not come close to knocking out Torkoal. It's definitely taking out Golden Guy. Yeah, and a Glaive Rush plus a close combat. This game's done. And I think we've played it really well. I love how bulky this team is. I love bulky teams. I love how giving myself lots of options for switch-ins. I like having just the utility of Intimidate. This team suits me, I think. It suits me. It's really solid. It's obviously solid. It won a bloody tournament. What am I even saying? But a close combat plus Glaive Rush will wrap this game up, and we don't even need to Terrestrialize. I could have Terrestrialized then. I probably should have done to play it safe, but we don't need to. And there we have it. Very, very comfortable. Which is what you want to see from these types of teams. Jump straight into games and immediately feel comfortable. I think we put our opponent right on the back foot from turn 1. We stopped my opponent from being able to go for that final Gambit. They switched out with the U-turn. They switched in the Hattering, got one shot straight away. Took a massive amount of damage from the Make It Rain. That turn indeed really needed to get a Trick Room up so that the Tauros could, so that Torkoal could come in and start dealing damage. But yeah, that's my opponent's error, and they went for damage, and that was the wrong choice. Let's jump into the next game. Jumping into the next game then, guys, we have got Golden Go, Tatsugiri, Dondozo. Well, I mean, it's a bloody Dondozo team. What else do I need to say? I actually really like the Excalibur lead. I really, really like it here. Especially if I Terrestrialize like first turn. We hit so much for a lot of damage. I think that we need a good partner for it. Meowscarada is going to threaten the opponent's Golden Go. So, also Mimikyu threatens it. And Mimikyu actually threatens... Well, Mimikyu is really threatening. Maybe I'll go Mimikyu instead of Excalibur first turn and maybe bring a partner for Mimikyu. There's a lot of physical attackers there, so I could bring Tauros. Like, Tauros is... I'm going to bring anyway, because obviously it helps against Dondozo. I think Meowscarada should be bought as well. It's likely my opponent just leads with the Murkrow. I think I'm okay with Baxcalibur Mimikyu. Let's go with the Tauros. And the last option is Meowscarada or Gholdengo. So I ended up bringing Garganacl in the back, just because I think it's going to be nice to bring it into it to sponge some hits. My opponent leads Gholdengo Murkrow. And here, I think I'm perfectly fine to just go for a Protect plus Shadow Claw, right? Yeah, that seems fine to me. If he wants to go for a Make It Rain, that's fine. If he wants to go for a Foul Play plus Shadow Ball, that's fine, because Mimikyu, I think, should outspeed both of them. If he lives the Shadow Claw and goes for the Make It Rain, then Baxcalibur is protecting. I possibly could have just clicked Shadow Claw plus... no, actually, because he might... But no, but if Mimikyu outspeeds anyway... I don't know. No, Protect is definitely the right play here. He goes for the Make It Rain, and hopefully Mimikyu can just one-shot this thing. We are going to lose our Disguise, unfortunately, but if it means taking out the Gholdengo without taking any, severe damage, then I think that's great. We go for the Shadow Claw. Not quite enough to take the knockout, but we do now threaten with the Shadow Sneak, and Baxcalibur can, of course, just go for the Icicle Spear into the Murkrow, so... that is all good. The Gholdengo goes down. And next, we're going to see Murkrow's attack. Probably going to be a foul play. It's going to be into Baxcalibur, so it is going to do a lot of damage because it uses Baxcalibur's base 145 attack against it. But we do have the loaded die. We do have the Icicle Spear, and hopefully we do take out this Murkrow. We absolutely do, and that is a double down. So, Mimikyu on around 65% HP, 70% HP. Baxcalibur down to just under 50. My opponent does have the Tailwind up. But what's really important here is that we... Oh, I was thinking it was going to be Dondozo. Well, I was thinking what would be really important would be to see my opponent's Terastallization. It's probably going to be... Actually, I don't even know if Baxcalibur takes these hits. Maybe I bring in Tauros into this slot. Tauros has Intimidate, which is going to be really, really nice. And I suppose I can just click Protect. Stalls a turn of the Tailwind out. And this actually gives us an option now where we can bring in Tauros, switch out Tauros, bring Tauros back in, and just keep getting those Intimidates off. Which is really, really nice. I actually wonder if I should have gone on with the offensive here with Mimikyu. We do get to see my opponent's Terastallization, which is really, really useful. It's going to be water on the Baxcalibur, so it's some good information. Because I don't think I've got any Pokemon that can hit that super damage. Honestly, it's looking like I may want to Terastallize my my Garganacl if I can get it in nicely. We see Protean, so likely Choice Band, which is even better for goes for the Glare, just to do too much. I'll say it's the Choice Band is even better if I Terastallize my Garganacl, right? So I think here, and it's probably going to be a Flower Trick into Tauros. So maybe I'm best off clicking Protect and going for the... How many turns of Trick Room are left? Tailwind, sorry. 1. I think I'm just going to play off into Meowscarada. Oh, and I'm glad I did, because he's going for Protect. As Tauros protects as well, expecting the Flower Trick into it. There it is, of course, and that gives Mimikyu free reign to go for the player off. I think my opponent shouldn't have protected with Baxcalibur there. They were in a really good position with the Tailwind, but now they've lost Tailwind. I don't think I need Baxcalibur anymore, so I'm pretty happy to bring it in, and we're just going to go for the... You're going to Flower Trick, right? Like, that's pretty obvious to me. Shadow Claw probably takes the knockout, and I'm not risking the accuracy, so we're just going to do that. Shadow Sneak may take the knockout, but I'm not confident with that calc, so I'd much rather just get the damage off. He does actually show Protect here, which means he's not banded, which is a little bit odd, because usually you see the band on Protean sets, but it's fine. That's okay. We see the Icicle Spear come out into the Mimikyu. Probably going to take us out. But honestly, this isn't a bad situation because we get to bring Tauros back in now. And with the Meowscarada going for Protect this turn, it's very, very vulnerable to an Ice Shard. My opponent probably just going to Glaive Rush my Baxcalibur, which is okay. I can bring Tauros in, get another Intimidate off into my opponent. And honestly, I actually think the play here is to switch Tauros back out again. Ice Shard will take out Meowscarada. We switch... Remember, he's up -2, right? So, unless I bring in Garganical and he crits my Garganical, we're fine. And even then... You know, I'm feeling pretty confident because this Baxcalibur is going to end up at -3 attack, which is pretty severe. Pretty severe. We do see the Glaive Rush. And despite being at -3, it is still enough to take us out. I actually don't need to Terastallize now, which is even better. I don't need to Terastallize at all. I can just bring in Tauros. Get another Intimidate off. And we'll go for the... I think we'll go for a Wave Crash. No, that's resisted. We'll go for the Close Combat, and we'll go for the Salt Cure. And at this stage, you've got to say that is good game. And I think we played that really well. My opponent had lots of threats in the field at all time. They did not take advantage of their Tailwind as well as they should have done. Them protecting on that turn with Baxcalibur, you know, they basically could have had a knockout then, and they chose not to take it. So I don't really understand that play, but pretty happy with the way we played. On to Game 3. And in Game 3 then, guys, so it's Garchomp, Volcarona, Kingambit, Tauros, Murkrow, and Amoonguss. Really like this team. I think my opponent's only issue really is the fact that if he wants to go for Earthquakes, then, you know, 4 times out of 5 he's hitting his partner, which I don't think is great. But the team looks really cool. Very, very good stuffy. Baxcalibur looks super solid, not going to lie. Baxcalibur looks incredibly solid. Especially, like, if I Terastallize it, specifically. We do need to be a little bit careful of the Amoonguss clicking Spore. I think Golden Go is a must-bring. I think our lack of speed control is a little bit of a problem. I like Mimikyu. I think I like Mimikyu Baxcalibur here as the lead. That's very vulnerable, though, if my opponent does choose to lead the Amoonguss or the Tauros and get an Intimidate off. So I'll make one of those Pokemon Golden Go, and we'll bring Baxcalibur in the back. And then the last Pokemon, I think, should be... Honestly, I'm thinking... Garganical gets hit by the Earthquake. But he can't do much else to it. If I Terastallize. Really, I need to work out what Pokemon I'm going to Terastallize. Like, between Garganical and Baxcalibur. I think the rest of it's fine. I don't think I need to... Actually, no, you know what? You know what? Let's bring Tauros. Tauros was the Pokemon of the tournament. I think it's only right that we finish this video off by using the Pokemon of the tournament with, you know, within the winning team. So... We'll bring Tauros in the back, you know, and it will be useful because we can switch it in on the Garchomp, provided it's not Clear Amulet. That would be really annoying because if that's the case, then I really should have bought Baxcalibur, but... Or whatever else, whatever I chose not to bring, Garganical. I'm pretty sure I did bring Baxcalibur. And it is going to be the Tauros lead. So really happy with the fact that I chose not to lead with 2 physical attackers. However, there is also a Volcarona on the field. I think that the play here is honestly to switch in my own Tauros, get an Intimidate off, I hit the Volcarona for super effective damage, and maybe we just go for Power Gem here with Golden Go into the Volcarona. I don't think my opponent will expect the Power Gem, so I'm pretty happy with that. This seems pretty safe to me, although the Volcarona could outspeed me and just hit me with a Fire move. That is... No, we're the fastest thing on the field. We're good. And Power Gem, of course, Choice Specs, Time Spill, super effective, an easy knockout into Volcarona. Definitely caught my opponent off guard with that in best of 1. And the opponent goes for the Raging Bull, which is going to be resisted, and at -1, so it does absolutely nothing. So we have completely outplayed the opponent here on turn 1, which is very nice. It's exactly what we want to see. It's the Kingambit switching in now. Now, I'm not sure if that's a great play. The Kingambit is clearly switched in because it doesn't want to... It wants to threaten my Golden Go with a Sucker Punch. Do I lose anything here by just going for close combat into Kingambit? Oh no, they're probably going to go for a Terastallization, right? They probably Terastallize here. and go for a Sucker Punch. I think I'm going to get some big damage off into that Taurus slot, you know. If he switches out, then I guess it could be a Moongus. But Golden Go doesn't want to stay in. I could bring a Mimikyu. Yeah, I think the Mimikyu is probably the switch. So I am expecting a Terrestrialization or a Protect here from the Kingambit. There's no way you switch in a Kingambit like that on a fighting type and just sit there. They're switching out their own Tauros, and it's going to be the Garchomp. So we get a really nice hit onto the Garchomp with a close combat, and also threaten it next side. Wow, they have actually just stayed in and just said, you know what? No, I'm quite happy to take a close combat with Kingambit. All right, sure. And Kingambit goes for the Katal Cleave. Okay, then. Okay. Alright. So my opponent just switched out a Tauros. I think I'm happy just to click Close Combat again into the but this time into the Kingambit slot. And we'll go for the player off into Garchomp. We may see a Protect Earthquake this turn. I'm honestly not sure. Figures. And there's the Earthquake. And that will probably do quite considerable damage because my Taurus is at -1 attack, -1 defense. And Mimikyu doesn't really like taking Earthquakes at all. So that's going to be a problem. We don't see an item? Oh, it's a Life Orb. Okay. This is bad. This is really bad, actually. I have to bring in my Baxcalibur here, and I need to deal with the... I need to deal with this Kingambit. I need to deal with it now. So I'll bring in Baxcalibur. Baxcalibur will threaten the Garchomp with an Ice Shard. I think I'm quite happy to go... The problem is I don't really hit the Kingambit with much, do I? I think we'll protect the Tauros this turn. And I will be Terrestrializing, and I will be going for a... I think we'll be going for Icicle Spear into Kingambit, to be honest. I need some damage off onto it. It's a problem. It's a real problem. I shouldn't have allowed Tauros to take as much damage as it did. Probably should have went for the Protect last turn just to scout, but we shall see. Hopefully my opponent just Earthquakes his own Kingambit. That'd be great. No, Kingambit goes for the Sucker Punch. We can't see... Well, my Baxcalibur's attacking, so it will be going into the... That'll be going into the Tauros. As Baxcalibur goes for the Icicle Spear. And after seeing that he wants to Sucker Punch, I think the play is next turn is probably Aqua Jet into Kingambit and Ice Shard into the Garchomp. We take out the Garchomp and we prevent my opponent from Sucker Punching the Tauros slot because we're faster and we're going for a priority move. So let's go for the Aqua Jet, let's go for the Ice Shard. I'm pretty happy with that play. And I think it's pretty clever. I'm not sure my opponent really sees this coming. I think it's quite likely that my opponent just goes Earthquake plus Protect again, but this time it's okay. Opponent actually switches out the Garchomp. Really interesting to bring in Tauros. Get the Intimidate off. It's definitely the right thing to do here. Absolutely. Tauros, go for the Aqua Jet. Do very little damage. And the Ice Shard, of course, does nothing to Tauros. So, does my opponent's Tauros here just go for Close Combat into Baxcalibur? Because if they do, the play is just to go out into Golden Go, right? Or, we go for Close Combat and into Kingambit and hope he doesn't Sucker Punch. Unfortunately, this isn't one of those 1v1 situations, so it makes things a little bit more difficult. Let's go for the Close Combat, and let's switch out into Golden Go, I think. Or, I don't think I need to do it, I think I can Protect. The Tauros clicks Protect! Baxcalibur goes Protect. What are we going to see from my opponent? And they don't go for the Sucker Punch, and we get the Close Combat off into the Kingambit. That was massive. Absolutely massive. Played my opponent like a fiddle, you could say. Hey, we played him like a fiddle. In comes the Garchomp. See, Baxcalibur for Protect last turn. I'm a little bit worried that the Garchomp clicks Protect here, and then the Tauros tries to take out my Baxcalibur. So, I'm going to go for Aqua Jet. God, maybe a Glaive Rush. Let's target this Tauros. My opponent is going to... Oh, is this... The thing is, they went for Protect last turn, right? So, my opponent is going to become Water type. I think this Garchomp will protect itself, to be honest with you. I think it clicks Protect. No, the Tauros going for the Aqua Jet. So just trying to get a little bit of chip onto my Baxcalibur so that a Dragon Claw can take it out. No, he goes for Rock Slide. Baxcalibur will eat that. Do we get flinched? This game, man. This game. Do we get flinched? Come on, Baxcalibur. That's so annoying. I am going to go for the Shadow Ball into Tauros. I think it's probably game over, and I'm going to go for the Ice Shard into Garchomp. I don't think we'll live an Earthquake from the Life Orb Garchomp. There's the Protect. Maybe I should have predicted that and gone for Protect myself. He did have Protect on the Garchomp this whole time. Oh, but Golden Go is able to outspeed the Tauros. Is there a chance? It's not enough damage, unfortunately. And Tauros goes for the Raging Bull. But it's into Golden Go. And we take it. There is still a chance here. My opponent makes a... I mean, that is a mess up and a half, really. Not targeting Baxcalibur. We go for the Shadow Ball into Tauros, knowing we outspeed. And the Ice Shard can finish off the... This game is coming down to the wire, actually. The Ice Shard will finish off the Garchomp. My opponent kind of has to go for an Aqua Jet here. No, he just plays it safe with the Protect. But that's not going to be enough here. We can go for the Ice Shard. And you've got to think... I know Baxcalibur is at -1. But you've got to think a Shadow Ball or a Glaive Rush finishes this game now. This game really could have gone either way. But I think we've got this in the bag. I think we've got this. My opponent needed to go for a close combat into Baxcalibur to get some big damage off. But they just didn't do it. Aqua Jet doesn't come close to knocking out Baxcalibur. And Golden Go wraps this game up with the Shadow Ball. And that was pretty tough, actually. That was pretty tough. That was... that really could have gone either way, I think. I think if one person got a crit or a little bit of luck, I think they probably win it. But we just made the right plays at the right time to take us through. And yeah, what a great team. This has been great fun. So at this point in the video, I usually give my few final thoughts on the team. However, there's not really much to say. It's an excellent team for this metagame, although you can definitely see for the remainder of Series 1, Baxcalibur and Tauros' usage rising. Probably Garganackle as well, coming back in a little bit. But it's such a cool team, and I wonder how this team will affect Liverpool Regionals, something that I'm going to be participating in. So, you know, I've got a team in mind that I want to bring to Liverpool. I'm having to make adaptations because I know that Baxcalibur is going to be more popular. Garganackle is going to be more popular. Mimikyu probably going to be more popular. So, Tauros especially. So, at the moment, I'm looking at how I can change and adapt to things and see what I can do to beat a team like this. But yeah, if you like the video, guys, hit the subscribe button and like the video and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Get it the wrong way around. And I'll catch you next time.